There's a reason you found this message today. Something in you already knows, already feels that a shift has happened. Wealth is not coming, it's arriving. Massive, undeniable, life-altering wealth is moving toward you now. The only requirement? Stay open. You don't need to earn this shift through effort. You don't need to qualify yourself to be worthy of it. You only need to accept it. The inner world governs the outer. Everything seen begins in the unseen, and right now in the unseen, a flood of abundance is forming in your favor. What you've imagined, perhaps in silence, perhaps in longing, is already taking shape. The images you've held, the emotions you've embodied, the scenes you've returned to again and again, they have done more than inspire you, they have created. Every time you felt the reality of wealth, without needing to justify it, you moved closer to receiving it. Wealth does not come through striving, it comes through receiving. You don't manifest by effort, you manifest by inner permission. Right now, life is reorganizing itself in your favor. People, opportunities, timelines, all are being drawn to match the assumption you've lived in. So the real question isn't whether wealth is coming, it's already moving. The question is, are you remaining open? Remaining open does not mean passive. It means living from the end. It means walking like one who already has, speaking like one who has already received, acting like one whose fortune is already settled. Because that's exactly what you are, settled. Wealth is no longer something to get. It is something to express. And yet, many close the door right before the delivery arrives. They let doubt interrupt the process. They let conditions cloud the certainty. But you are not here to entertain doubt. You are here to embody truth. The truth is this: it's already yours. The wealth is moving because you moved first, in consciousness. The outer world is just catching up. Remain open by giving thanks before it arrives. Feel the relief of financial freedom now. Watch how the world rushes to confirm what you've accepted within. There is no delay except your belief in time. There is no obstacle except the idea of not yet. And there is no resistance when you let go of needing to know how. You are not here to chase wealth. You are here to radiate it. Wealth is moving toward you not because of anything you do, but because of who you've dared to be internally. So stand still in your knowing. Smile at the invisible. Stay open. Because massive wealth is moving, accelerating, and aligning with you this very moment. The beginning of all wealth is not found in effort, strategy, or even education. It is found in imagination. Long before riches take form in your bank account or manifest in your environment, they are born within the mind. This is not fantasy. This is the most spiritual and scientific truth of manifestation. Imagination is the inner workshop of reality. It is not merely a place to escape. It is the origin point of creation. Every skyscraper, every global empire, every dollar in circulation was once an unseen thought. Someone imagined it, dared to persist in that imagination, and the world responded with evidence. We are not here to chase wealth. We are here to awaken to it. But the awakening does not happen by simply wishing for abundance. It happens when we assume the inner identity of one who already is abundant. Not will be, not hopes to be, already is. Imagination is not weak. It is not child's play. It is divine power. It is the force that shapes the world silently and invisibly. And yet, it is the one tool most people overlook when they set out to become wealthy. They look outward for change. They shift jobs, pursue opportunities, or hustle restlessly, but they never shift inward. What you hold consistently in imagination, you will inevitably experience in form. It is law. If you continuously see yourself as poor, as limited, as someone who's always trying to make it, then you are reinforcing a reality that cannot shift. But if you dare to use your imagination, to see yourself differently, to walk in the feeling of wealth now, you are planting the only seed that can bear the fruit of lasting abundance. The world responds not to your effort, it responds to your assumption. And assumptions are nothing more than imagined realities accepted as truth. And you don't become rich by adding money to your account. You become rich by adding certainty to your mind. The moment you see yourself as wealthy, not in the future but now, the moment you walk, talk, think, and feel from that place, you activate a chain of events that must unfold to support your new identity. Let this be clearly understood. The outer world is not static. It is fluid. It conforms to the image held in your inner world. Change the image and the reflection must change. Just as a mirror cannot resist reflecting the one standing before it, the world cannot resist reflecting your inner assumption. So many wait for physical proof before they believe. But imagination is not about proof, it's about faith. And faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. To use your imagination is to say, I do not need permission to feel rich. I do not need evidence to feel powerful. I choose to enter into this state now, and I trust the world to catch up. Everything begins there, in your inner world. And the most powerful truth is this: you are always imagining something. You are always creating. The only question is, what are you imagining consistently? Because whatever it is, that is what you are fertilizing. That is the seed being watered. Every moment you focus on it, worry about it, or feel it as real. So choose wisely. Don't imagine lack and then expect riches. Don't imagine fear and then expect freedom. Don't imagine yourself struggling and then wait for abundance. That's not how reality works. Imagine differently. Imagine richly. Imagine consistently. And imagine with feeling. Let your imagination be more than idle pictures. Let it become your new residence. Visit it so often that the mind forgets the old state and begins to identify fully with the new. Imagination must be practiced. It must be repeated. It must become a discipline. But this discipline is joyful. It is the most liberating work you will ever do, because it frees you from dependency on the outer world. You no longer need circumstances to prove your worthiness. You declare it from within, and the world responds in kind. The person who masters their imagination does not need to manipulate conditions. They do not need to chase opportunity. They become the opportunity. They attract effortlessly because their inner state is aligned with the harvest they've already accepted. This is the secret to all transformation. This is the real alchemy, not turning lead into gold, but turning thought into substance, turning invisible wealth into visible reality. And the moment you take this seriously, the moment you begin to see imagination not as a playful escape, but as the operating power of your world, everything will change. You will no longer ask, when will my wealth come? You'll understand it already has. You simply imagined it. And now, all that's left is for reality to do what it always does. Reflect what you consistently believe to be true. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you allow. It is not the result of effort alone, but of internal alignment. Many believe that if they just work harder, longer, and smarter, the money will come. But wealth does not respond to hustle. It responds to identity. Your state of being, your dominant inner attitude, your emotional climate, your assumed identity is the magnet. It is the transmitter. It sends a silent signal that the world cannot help but reflect. That signal is not based on what you say you want, it is based on what you are being. Everything in your life is a mirror of the state you most consistently inhabit. You do not get what you want, you get what you are in vibrational harmony with. So if you desire massive wealth, the real work is not to earn it in the world. The real work is to embody it within. What does it mean to align with wealth? It means to assume the feeling of abundance now, before the money shows up, before the evidence appears. It means to think, feel, speak, and move like one who is already wealthy. Not pretending, not faking, but accepting it as true in consciousness before it becomes visible in your environment. Alignment is not about fixing yourself. It's about returning to your natural state. Abundance is your birthright. There is nothing outside of you that needs to be conquered. There is only a state that needs to be assumed. The wealthy version of you already exists in imagination. That version of you doesn't try to attract wealth, they are wealth. They don't chase opportunities, opportunities chase them. They don't ask, how will it happen? They trust that it already has, and the rest is just form catching up to assumption. This is how the invisible becomes visible. When you shift your state, you shift the path of your life. Life doesn't respond to force, it responds to the vibration of your belief. So stop asking, what should I do to attract money? And start asking, who am I being? That question holds more power than 1,000 strategies. If your internal world is still filled with lack, struggle, or unworthiness, no amount of external effort will bring lasting abundance. You may earn, but you won't retain. You may gain, but it will slip away. Because it's not safe to stay where you internally don't believe you belong. But the moment you shift your inner state, the moment you begin to feel natural with the idea of wealth, the moment you walk as if it is already yours, everything changes. The right people show up. The aligned actions become obvious. The doors begin to open, not because you forced them open, but because you became the version of yourself that they were always waiting to meet. This is not magical thinking. It is inner causation. Your thoughts and feelings are the builders of your world. And when your inner state is consistently one of wealth, joy, peace, and sufficiency, your outer world must take shape around that truth. There is no outer success that can compensate for inner poverty. But when the inner shift happens, the outer world must rearrange. It is law, it is not personal, it is universal. So how do you align with abundance? You start by feeling wealthy now. Even if your circumstances tell a different story, you close your eyes and step into the scene where all your desires are fulfilled. You let yourself feel what it's like to wake up without financial worry. You allow the sensation of security, of expansion, of freedom to fill your body. And then you carry that feeling into your daily life. You walk with it, you speak from it, you make decisions not from fear or scarcity, but from the wisdom of someone who already has more than enough. And the more you live from that state, the more the universe begins to mirror it back to you. Don't let your current bank account define your state. Don't let your present conditions rob you of your creative power. You are not meant to be a reactor to circumstances. You are meant to be a creator of new ones. The most powerful wealth magnet is peace, the feeling of, I already have it. When you can truly relax into the knowing that abundance is inevitable, you open the gates. You create space for wealth to flow, not because you're begging for it, but because your state is no longer resisting it. Massive wealth flows where it's safe to stay, and the safest place is a soul that already believes it's done. That kind of faith is rare, but it's also magnetic. The universe always meets you at the level of your assumption. So today, don't strive harder. Align deeper. Enter the state of already being wealthy. Let that be your focus, your meditation, your identity, and let everything else be drawn to you by the gravity of your alignment. You are not a beggar. You are not incomplete. You are a powerful creator, and your state of being is the invitation the universe responds to. There comes a moment on your journey of manifestation when desire must give way to faith, when clinging must give way to surrender. This moment is not about giving up your dream. It is about giving up the struggle for it. Attachment is not apathy. It is not laziness. And it is certainly not indifference to your vision. Detachment is confidence. It is inner conviction so deep that you no longer feel the need to chase, to beg, or to panic. When you are detached, it is not because you don't care. It is because you know. You know that what you have imagined is already yours. You know that what you have assumed will materialize in divine timing. And most importantly, you know that your current circumstances have no final say. Your state of being does. Desperation is the language of doubt. It signals that you believe what you want is still far from you. It creates tension in the body, anxiety in the mind, and blocks in the flow of life. But the moment you release that grip, the moment you relax into the inner knowing, everything begins to move. The river flows fastest when you stop thrashing. When you float in trust, life carries you faster than you could ever swim. This is the paradox of power. The more you need it, the more you push it away. But the moment you no longer need, you enter the magnetic state of having. The moment you no longer obsess over when, how, or where your manifestation will arrive, that's when it arrives. Detachment is the final act of manifestation. It's not the moment you give up on your desire. It's the moment you realize you already have it in consciousness and you stop trying to get it in the world. Letting go doesn't mean you no longer care. It means you've planted the seed and you now trust the process. No farmer digs up a seed every day to check its progress. They trust the invisible work of the soil. In the same way, when you detach, you stop checking, controlling, and forcing, and you allow the unseen forces to do their part. This level of trust only comes from deep inner conviction. And conviction is not built through effort. It is built through assumption. You assume it is already done. You live from the end. You begin to feel the peace that comes from already having, even before any outer proof shows up. This is when you stop asking, when will it come? And begin saying, thank you that it's already mine. That shift in language from lack to gratitude is the moment detachment is born. You've entered the realm of faith. You've stopped begging the universe and started agreeing with it. And the universe responds to agreement, not to desperation. Detachment doesn't mean you won't feel excitement or anticipation. But it does mean your inner peace is no longer tied to the appearance of results. You are steady, you are secure, you are certain. Even when nothing around you looks different, your conviction keeps you aligned. And alignment is everything. When you are aligned, you no longer look to the outer world for signs. You become the sign. Your mood, your mindset, your posture, your presence, it all becomes the evidence of the shift. And that evidence calls forth the outer manifestation. Like a magnet, this is the essence of spiritual mastery. To know something is yours before the world dares to confirm it. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you unshakable. When you're no longer desperate, you're finally aligned. Because now you're not operating from a place of, I need this to feel whole. You're operating from a place of, I am already whole, and this desire is simply an expression of my fullness. You're no longer trying to get rich to fix something. You're attracting wealth because you remember who you are. Abundant by nature. When you let go of the need to force the current, you discover the current has always known exactly where to take you. It was your resistance that slowed it down. And so, detachment becomes a kind of surrender, not to fate, but to faith. Not to resignation, but to divine orchestration. This surrender is quiet, yet powerful. It doesn't demand, it doesn't argue, it doesn't control. It simply knows. And this knowing becomes the most magnetic force in the universe. Everything you want is already making its way to you. But it moves faster when you stop chasing and start trusting. Detach with joy. Detach with gratitude. Detach with expectancy. You've already imagined it. You've already assumed it. Now let go. Not because it doesn't matter, but because it's already yours. Faith is not something weak. It is not fragile, nor is it passive. Faith is not simply wishing things were different. It is not hoping that something good might happen. True faith is inner certainty, an unshakable knowing that what you have imagined, what you have believed, and what you have inwardly accepted is already yours. There is a world of difference between faith and hope. Hope looks forward with a sense of longing, unsure of what may come. Hope is a hand stretched into the dark, waiting for something to grab onto. But faith is different. Faith knows. Faith doesn't reach. It walks. It moves confidently through the invisible, certain that it is only a matter of time before the inner reality takes form. Faith is not a request. It is a decision. It says, this is mine. I have received it. The world just hasn't caught up yet. To walk by faith is to live as though the unseen is already seen. It is to carry yourself with the assurance that the wealth, the love, the opportunity, the healing, the expansion, whatever you have imagined, already exists in your reality now. You are not waiting for it to show up so you can feel it. You are feeling it now, and by doing so, you are summoning its physical form. The world responds to your inner world, always. And faith is the frequency of certainty that instructs the universe to rearrange itself around your belief. You see, you don't manifest what you're unsure about. You don't manifest what you occasionally feel. You manifest what you fully believe, what you assume to be true, with such inner authority that it becomes natural to you. Faith does not entertain the idea of what if it doesn't happen. Faith has no backup plan. Faith doesn't check the calendar. Faith doesn't scroll for signs. Faith moves forward because it already sees the finish line. And that's the key. You stay open not by waiting, but by living as though it's already done. The longer you wait for the outside world to confirm your belief before you act on it, the longer the delay. But when you live from the energy of already done, reality begins to obey your conviction. Faith is the foundation of all manifestation. It is the power that holds the invisible in place until the visible catches up. It is the anchor in the unseen realm that says, I don't care what it looks like. I know what I've accepted within. That inner acceptance is everything. Once you've accepted something internally, there is no need to force it externally. You may take inspired action, yes, but it won't feel like striving or chasing. It will feel natural, obvious, inevitable. Why? Because your inner world has already decided. Without faith, you're always looking for evidence. You're always wondering, always questioning, always doubting. But with faith, you become the evidence, you become the demonstration. You live in a way that testifies it is done. And the most incredible part, when you live in that state, the world responds quickly. Because your energy is no longer hesitant. You are no longer sending mixed signals. You are clear. You are aligned. And alignment is the fastest route to manifestation. But you must train your mind to return to faith again and again. Every time doubt arises, and it will, you must remind yourself, faith is not a feeling, it's a knowing. And I choose to know. Because faith, like any muscle, must be used to grow strong. You strengthen it by persisting in the inner assumption even when the outer world seems silent. You hold the vision when nothing seems to be moving. You speak the truth of your desire as though it is fact, because to you it is. Do not confuse faith with passivity. Faith is active. It is courageous. It requires discipline of thought, emotion, and self-concept. It asks you to silence the old story, to tune out the noise of appearances, and to stand tall in the truth of what you have chosen. And you have chosen abundance. You have chosen expansion. You have chosen the life that was always waiting for you. Not in some distant place, but within. So now it is your responsibility to walk in it. Live today as the version of yourself who already has everything. Let your posture, your decisions, your language, your choices all reflect the one who no longer doubts. This is not pretending, this is creating. And faith is the bridge between the spiritual and the tangible, the unseen and the seen. You are not here to beg the unseen. You are not here to hope and wait and wonder. You are here to create, to believe, and to receive. So walk boldly, act with authority, speak with clarity. Carry yourself like the outcome is certain, because to faith it always is. Let faith be your compass, your confidence, and your calm. Let it guide you beyond logic, beyond fear, beyond limitation. Let your life become the visible echo of what you have already received in the silence. And know this, the moment you fully believe is the moment the universe begins to deliver. What you often take for granted is this: your external reality is a direct reflection of your inner script. The story playing in your mind, the beliefs you hold about yourself, your worth, your possibilities. These are the real architects of your life experience. Your world is not rigid or set in stone. It is fluid, ever-changing, and infinitely responsive. It moves and breathes according to the dominant narrative running within you. This internal script is the blueprint, the map, the code that the universe reads and responds to with absolute precision. If you imagine scarcity, your world will mirror scarcity. If you imagine struggle, your life will show struggle. If you imagine limitation, your environment will conform to limitation. But when you rewrite that inner script, when you boldly script a new story of abundance, success, and wealth, your reality begins to change to reflect that powerful narrative. The power to change your life does not come from outside you. It comes from rewriting your internal script, moment by moment, thought by thought, feeling by feeling. This is the greatest creative act you can undertake. This is where true manifestation begins. Speak and feel from the end, from the place where your desire is already fulfilled. Don't say, I hope to be wealthy someday, or I'm trying to make more money. Instead, say, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am open to receiving massive wealth now. Let your feelings match these words. Let your heart, mind, and body live in that fulfilled state. The universe doesn't argue with your inner conviction. It simply answers. When you consistently expect wealth, opportunities, and blessings, you activate the natural flow of life that rushes to meet the one who knows what they deserve. Expectancy is magnetic. It draws people, resources, and synchronicities into your orbit. It sends a clear signal: I am ready, I am worthy, I am receiving. But the process is subtle. It does not work through force or desperation. It works through alignment, through the quiet confidence of knowing your script is true, even if the outer world seems slow to respond. When you live as though your wealth has already arrived, you plant a seed that cannot be stopped. You may not yet see physical proof. You may face challenges and delays. But your inner script is your command center. It determines everything. What you see outside is only the reflection of what you carry inside. Rewrite your story. Tell yourself a new script. Instead of scarcity, tell abundance. Instead of struggle, tell ease. Instead of waiting, tell receiving. This rewriting isn't a one-time act, it's a daily commitment. Every time your thoughts drift toward doubt or fear, gently bring them back. Remind yourself, my world is responding to my inner script. I choose a script of wealth and success. Remember, the words you speak aloud and the feelings you nurture are like radio waves transmitting to the universe. Tune your frequency to the station of abundance and watch how your world begins to dance to that rhythm. The person who expects wealth already lives in a different reality. A reality where doors open, opportunities multiply, and resources flow effortlessly. That person does not scramble or struggle. They move with grace and assurance, knowing their inner script shapes every moment. You are the author of your life. Your words, feelings, and beliefs are the ink with which you write your story. Write it with clarity, with power, with certainty. And know this: as you rewrite your inner script, your outer world must follow. Wealth is not a coincidence, it is a response. It is the echo of your dominant consciousness. So speak and feel from the end. Live as if your desires are already fulfilled. Be the person who expects greatness, who expects abundance, who expects the best life has to offer, because your world is listening and it will reflect exactly what you believe. To live a life of abundance, of fulfillment, of true wealth, you must first understand a profound principle. You do not chase blessings. You do not scramble or strive to grasp what is already yours. Instead, you receive by standing firmly in the assumption that the blessing has already arrived. This is the art of living in the end. Living in the end means you don't wait for the external evidence to prove your worth or your success. You do not delay your happiness until a certain check clears, or until that opportunity appears, or until circumstances finally line up. You assume your desires are fulfilled right now, and you make that assumption the foundation of your life. When you live in the end, your posture changes, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Your openness to receive is not one of desperation or grasping. It is a relaxed, confident posture. It is a state of welcoming, of allowing, of knowing that what you want is not outside of you, but flowing toward you. This openness is a form of surrender, but it is a surrender rooted in power, not weakness. You surrender the need to control how and when the blessing arrives, because you trust the infinite intelligence of life to bring it to you perfectly. You open your hands, your heart, and your mind, ready to receive without resistance. Think of the ocean. The ocean does not chase the river. It remains open and vast, allowing the river to flow into it naturally. When you are open in the same way, blessings flow to you effortlessly. You stop blocking the current with your fears, your doubts, and your need to force outcomes. This posture of already having is the secret that separates those who struggle from those who succeed with ease. Many chase after what they want because they believe it is far away, uncertain, or difficult to attain. But those who live in the end know it is theirs. They act as if they already own it, and because of that, they create the space for it to manifest. Remaining open means you are not attached to specific forms or timelines. You do not insist on a particular job, a particular person, or a particular way for your wealth to come. You trust the process. And you trust your inner knowing that what you have imagined is on its way. This trust is what creates true peace. When you stop chasing and start receiving, you stop struggling. You stop exhausting yourself trying to make things happen and instead allow things to happen for you. You embody the belief that the universe is abundant and that your portion is already prepared. Your openness becomes your magnet. It signals readiness and worthiness. The universe does not give blessings to those who clutch tightly in fear or doubt. It flows to those who stand open, arms wide, ready to embrace what has already been sent. You must guard this openness carefully. It is fragile and precious because it requires you to release control, something many find difficult. But each time you resist, each time you clutch in desperation, you close the door to the very blessings you desire. Instead, cultivate patience and calm. Remind yourself daily that you are already the receiver, not the seeker. Walk in that truth, even if your current reality says otherwise. Your external world will catch up with your inner reality in time. Openness also means allowing inspired action without attachment. When you live in the end, you naturally take steps aligned with your assumption. These steps feel effortless and confident because they are not born of fear or desperation, but of a deep inner knowing. You do not chase opportunities, you recognize them as they flow to you. You do not struggle for resources, you use what comes with gratitude and faith. Your entire being vibrates with the certainty of arrival, and that certainty draws everything you need. Living in the end is the highest form of manifestation. It is not wishful thinking. It is not passive waiting. It is active living from a place of completion and fulfillment. Your mind, heart, and body unite in this posture of openness. Your thoughts affirm the reality. Your emotions feel the joy and gratitude. Your body carries the confidence and peace of someone who already has. This alignment creates a powerful energetic field that cannot be ignored. It cuts through resistance and rewrites your external circumstances. It calls forth resources, people, and opportunities like a magnet. So remain open, stand in the assumption, live in the end with faith, gratitude, and joy. Trust that what you desire is moving toward you now, even if you cannot see it yet. Remember, blessings do not come to those who chase them. They come to those who receive them. Your openness is your invitation. Open your hands, open your heart, and open your life. The universe is waiting to fill the space you create. As we come to the close of this message, remember these fundamental truths. Your wealth, your abundance, your deepest desires are not distant goals to be chased. They are realities you awaken to by shifting your inner world. Imagination is the starting point. Your state of being draws fortune. Detachment reveals your true alignment. Faith is your inner certainty. Everything responds to your inner script. And remaining open means living as though your blessings have already arrived. You are not here to struggle or to wait. You are here to embody the reality you wish to see, to live from the end and to allow the universe to unfold in perfect harmony with your inner conviction. Trust the process, stay open, stand firm in your knowing. The massive wealth moving toward you is inevitable because you have already claimed it in your consciousness. Now step into your power and receive with joy what is rightfully yours. Thank you for listening.